What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. Today we're going to be playing a track that has a bit of a special place in my heart. It is a track that I've put up a handful of real life riding videos on my channel, and that is Flackwell Heath Motocross Park. This is created by Lessig, and it's a track that he emailed to me and Discord messaged it to me about a week ago, but I've just been holding fire waiting for the full release just because I want to give it a proper go once it's all fully done and everyone else can try it out as well. And we're just going to see how it goes. We're going to see how close it is in terms of realism. We're going to see how it flows, how it rides in game, because I do find that quite often in game it's very hard to make a one-to-one scale track, especially tracks located in the UK that tend to be a lot smaller than the US tracks. It's hard to make them ride well in MX bikes as well. So I'm just going to have a quick roll around here for a couple laps, see how it goes. I suppose the one advantage I have this time is I know where the track is going. That is slightly different to real life, as well as this jump here. Okay, no worries, let's keep going. And so it's got a nice bit of rough going into some of the corners, which is good. It looks like off the bat, I like this little split section we've got here as well. That's true to life. I do like going over and hitting that left side and doubling through rather than hitting all the rough stuff on the right. Let's see how big these are. Okie dokie. So far, in terms of obviously track layout and stuff, he's probably got it from Google Maps. I know that he's used some of my videos, as well as I think Reese might have one too that he's used as like a guide, since he's never been there himself, being from the US, which makes sense. Now it seems like, which I can fully understand if he's only seen GoPro videos, the track feels flatter than it does IRL, in terms of there's not quite as much banking on the corners as there would be in person. The jumps seem to be quite mellow, they don't pop you up as high, but I know myself that whenever I go back and watch YouTube videos or GoPros of any track, you always think, wow, that actually doesn't look like that big of a jump at all. You go and see it in person and you're like, holy crap, this thing is huge, how am I going to get over that? So that's fine, I think I can let him off on this. It's nice having the different line choices inside and outside too. This corner here in person, extremely skatey corner. It usually gets quite dry and dusty. That right there, it can be a massive double. They're quite small. Usually it's a little hump followed by like two bigger singles. I'll put a link to my most recent Flackwell real life video in the description of this, hopefully I remember, just so you guys can go and compare the two. I might even see if I can overlay just a clip here and there side by side alongside the game and me riding, just so you get an idea of it, maybe a lap or so. Of course I will be much faster in game. Like this little jump here looks very tiny in game. In real life it's one of them where you've really got to get on the power from the second you get around the corner up and over it, because it is actually a little bit of a stretch, one that I've not done yet. I've only managed to kind of hit the initial part of it. I've not hit the single after it. That tabletop there that I've just hit is my favourite jump on the entire track. It is one of them where you kind of come up to each lap and it's like, right, come on, go. You really got to compress it, like squat down into the bike and get a little bit of lift up and over. And someone like myself, who's not the most confident jumper in the world, I've got very limited like bike control, just in terms of just not riding very much and fully learning all the ins and outs of my bike and how it's going to react at any given point. That is a really nice jump to hit, just because it never really gets rutted on the face of it. It's nice and hard packed on the face usually, and you can kind of get away with coming up short. You will bounce a little bit, you will bounce all the way into the corner if you come up short on it, but it is definitely forgiven. It's only really towards the end of the day where it gets super choppy under braking into the corner that it can really be an issue at all. This jump on the left, really nice and satisfying. It's a bit weird in person, because it feels like you really have to go out of your way to go over there and hit it. They don't really do a whole lot of prep to it in terms of takeoff and landing. They just kind of leave it all the time. The main part of the track is on the right hand side, but nonetheless it's nice to mix things up a little bit. These two corners right here, I am always finding myself dabbing feet around here. The two inside ruts do tend to get rather deep throughout the day, as it is the main line, but overall, in terms of, I mean, I think I've been asking for this track as well as Wild Tracks, also known as Chippenham as well in the UK. I've been asking for these two tracks to be made for a while, so the fact that someone has gone out of their way and made it and put it in the game, and not just done like a little private thing, they've gone through and added all the time in and so on, and I love it. So thank you very much, Lessig. I certainly do appreciate it. Now, if anybody wants to make Wild Tracks, let me know. I generally think, so I'm on my like Fantic 450 here. This is my Supercross bike. for the aerial season. I definitely think that this is too much. I 100% could see myself riding a 125 around here, maybe a 250. We are still waiting at the moment for the 2 strokes to get released. I think, if my memory serves me right, I believe the roadmap that was released said 20th of February. If that is the case, then we've not really got that long left. We've got about a month and a day, depending on whenever I'm uploading this. I'm recording it on the 18th, so it's probably going to go up on the 19th. But it's really fun, actually. It's really, really nice. One thing I will say, can I take my shaders off? How much different does it look? It's a little bit more on the lighter side in terms of dirt. It's quite a dark dirt in person. It's a little bit... It can be a bit wood chippy as well, if anyone's ever ridden on like wood chip type tracks. Obviously, depending on the weather conditions, if it's been like super sunny for a week or two leading up to it, it can be a little bit dried out and hard pack in places. If it's had a tiny bit of water, it can be. It's more so on the dark dirt side. That single right there is much bigger of a single in person. Do you think? I think I can send that tabletop and downside that single. Let's ride on over. Let's mosey on over there and give it a go. Let's just take the sting out of this a little bit. Up and over. Look over to the left of the spectators that aren't there at all. And let's go round, inside again. Lovely. So then what I would do is I'd come inside here. Again, slowly up and over the roller. Scrub off a bit of speed off of that. And then... up. Land it. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, that's 100% doable. If I didn't slow down for that single beforehand, that is 100% doable, no question about it. Right, let's try and get a little bit of speed going. I feel like I'm being super tentative around the track. Let's pick up some speed. I've seen some of the experts, because in the UK it's grouped between beginner, intermediate, and experts. There's some people that do like really send those 2 singles, and you can clear it. It's a lot bigger in person. Let's go down here. Usually I'd expect this to be a bit more banked, but it's fine. We can carry a good amount of speed. Let's just hit this jump. Why not? This corner gets super whooped out the whole way around, and then there's gets quite a few bumps up this straight. I suppose the only other thing as well that I could think about is they might be just more prominent at the moment because he's added a different texture to them. It almost feels like the braking bumps are a little bit disconnected from the rest of the track. It feels like it's straight, then braking bump, then corner, then braking bump. Like it's not kind of incorporated all into each other, and I think it's purely because he's made them a bit more of a lighter colour, so they stand out more. And so I would like to see the entirety of the track being a bit more wavy, because you do get the rough choppy stuff like right before hitting the corner, but the whole track itself is pretty whooped out. Like this straight gets bumpy too. Let's try and send it again, up and over, tap the brake. Oh, god damn it. That's so doable, so doable. I'll give it another go. We'll try again. This whole straight as well. I'm going the wrong way. Over here, yeah, this whole straight gets pretty whooped out, even more so into it. And then the whole straight from the corner through to here is just constantly whooped out. You got to get your ass off the back of the bike, stand up, just to try and absorb it all. And then after this tabletop here, he's done a fairly good job here, to be fair. It's quite whooped out all the way around the outside. The amount of times I've gone around the outside of people in that corner, because the inside usually gets super rough, and the outside stays pretty smooth until the end of the day, till people start venturing out. Love this jump. It's probably one of the only jumps that I'll try doing my little bum whips off of in real life. I know that I really cannot scrub or whip properly. I just stick my arse out. Let's go up and over this. Nice. This is a very treacherous corner I found in person. I'm always like constantly fighting with the front end trying to tuck on me. So let's go inside again. So I've got on 1 times erode right now riding this, and I'm not seeing much in terms of it developing. So I feel like you probably can get away with running a bit higher. I'm sure if you have a bigger lobby of people, you might notice it a little bit more. But one thing I do want to praise him on, these inside ruts seem to be built really nicely, like really well. It's good. You can get hooked into them. I'm going for it again. I do apologise. Oh, much bigger that time. Brake on the braking bumps, and well, thank you very much for both sides. We survived. I'll take that. Take that any day of the week. Let's go around here. Lovely. And then, you know what? All in all, I think he's done a pretty solid job. Obviously, there's Lessig is... It's not like a brand new track creator by any means. He's made a couple of tracks now, but in this grand scheme of things, I feel like he's still one of them people that's working on his craft, trying to improve time and time again. I know that he's working on a few other things behind the scenes that I am not allowed to divulge information on. But yeah, 100%. In terms of the track itself, Whilst the jumps I don't think are scaled truly to life, again, I think it's just because GoPro's don't do them much justice. I think the shape of them for in-game is really, really nice. Like, you can throw it sideways over them, you don't get any weird and wonderful kicks. The ruts, especially the inside ruts, every inside rut is really nice to get hooked into. I'm not having issues with tucking the front end at all, or just not being able to sit in them properly. I kind of like what he's done with the start gates there. Now, this is purely a practice track in person. It's not been used for any races ever, so it makes sense that there's no proper starting gate at all. I imagine if you did do an online race with people, that start there is probably actually quite a fun way of going about it. I wouldn't mind getting a few people in a lobby and trying it out myself. A smart idea might have been to get on this with Reese and see if he wants to play it, since he's the only person that I've gone riding with in the MX Bikes community other than Charlie, but obviously I know in Charlie personally beforehand it was a bit different. It might be good getting Reese on here, since he's appeared in one of my IRL videos, and Reese also has me in his. He has overtaken me, leaving me in the dirt. Oh god, I wish I was better in person. I would trade any day for being good in a video game for being good IRL. I get so jealous of the fast boys that can do all weird and wonderful stuff. It's like this tabletop here that I'm coming up to, and the one all the way over the other side of the track. I genuinely have to put in a good bit of effort and get on the power quite hard for myself personally to get up and over them. And then I sit down and I watch the expert group go out, and I see people hitting it on like CR125s, just full char, like pinned over it. First of all, it sounds sexy. Second of all, I'm like, god damn you make that look far too easy. It is not easy in the slightest. But I think he's done a very, very good job here. Constructive criticism for tracks in the future would be maybe make the bumps feel a bit more part of the track. As I say, it feels like they've just been kind of just put on top rather than incorporated into. It feels like they're their own separate obstacle, if that makes sense. And then other than that, maybe just slightly darker textures for this track as it is in real life. And I can't really think of much more other than that. There's not really much that he could have done in terms of track objects, other than maybe some marshal points or some flags dotted around here and there, because again, it's purely a practice track. There's not a whole lot in the way of, let's just call them objects in real life anyway. He's got the pits over to the left there, which is nice and true to life. He's got where you enter the track true to life as well, and I think it's a really, really good job. And I just want to give him a massive thank you for like making my wishes come true. Now I just need someone to start working on shipping them for me as well, and I'll be a very, very happy man. I've seen quite a few people, especially from the UK scene, asking if someone can put wild tracks in game, and I'm 100% would be here for it. There is a very, very special, let's call it a double. It's two absolutely huge singles or like rollers that you're not meant to double at all, that a handful of people over the years have A, got the bollocks for, and B, gone for. There's videos online of people barely getting over it and their back wheel, their spokes just like basically exploding. I know someone that's broke both of their ankles trying to do it as well. It's an absolutely huge jump, so I'd love to see something like that in game, and we'll probably have to do it on like 125s, because I imagine 450s will probably cruise over it, but all good stuff. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I've certainly enjoyed making it. As always, if you could drop a like, I would greatly appreciate it, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. Become a member as well if you want to support the channel a little bit more, and you can get some special privileges in terms of live streams and Discord as well, depending on what membership tier you choose. And most importantly, have a lovely day, whatever it is that you're up to, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.